Hey everyone! Welcome to The Young and the Restless. I'm Jane, and I'm so excited to have you here. If you love Young and the Restless, then you're in the right place. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Alright, let's dive right in. Let's talk about the drama that will take place over the next 5 days. According to Beyond the Gates spoilers for the week of August 4th to 8th, Devon Hamilton Winters of The Young and the Restless will come in Fairmont Crest, and Haley Hamilton will devise a terrifying plan. According to BTG teasers, Anita Dupree will make a significant announcement in the Monday, August 4th episode, which was hinted at as the Friday, August 1st show was coming to an end. Given that Winters, the CEO of the company he leads in Genoa City, does experiment with music contracts, it appears that Anita's news may be connected to the crossover plot involving Devon from YNR. In any case, viewers of both CBS soap operas will enjoy watching Devon participate in Fairmont Crest plots, but the main query is why he is visiting this community and whether he is tied to Bill Hamilton in any way. In any case, Vernon Dupree is hosting an after-party for the Articulates reunion concert, and it seems like there will be some fascinating things to see. Leslie Thomas and Nicole Richardson will initially collide when Nicole confronts her adversary for attending the concert without permission. Will this time around be as violent as the previous time these women engaged in a heated altercation? Haley will call in an enigmatic favor across town. Does this favor have anything to do with the speculation of Gates supporters on whether the woman is lying about being pregnant or not? After all, Haley recently had a strange phone that suggested she might be hiding a surrogate or at the very least, a co-conspirator. Fans will have to watch to see what happens after Haley has a miscarriage this week, as the promo for the daytime drama suggests, and Danny Dupree will assist her with her medical issue. Perhaps Haley will feel it's time to terminate the pregnant farce as Friday, August 8th, approaches because she will be giving Bill important news that will impact their future. Will she be apprehended, though? Fans should prepare for another father-daughter confrontation as Naomi Hawthorne will question Bill about his working relationship with Joey Armstrong. Ted Richardson will confront Doug McBride across town for making a mistake. Is this related to his gambling habit or his job? In relation to Doug, Vanessa McBride has drawn undesired attention to her recently acquired extra funds. Will someone notice the deal she has with Joey? Returning to Doug, he will contact Randy Parker, a friend from his youth, about a plan as the weekend approaches. Will they have a strategy to retaliate against Joey? Given how dangerous the casino owner is, do they really want to go with this? The final decision about Kenny's murder case will be made by Elon Hawthorne. He will probably decide to end the inquiry because he and the rest of the team want Martin Richardson's secret and cover-up to be resolved, but what would Jacob Hawthorne think of that? At last, Andre Richardson will initiate a romantic relationship with Ashley Morgan. He has a situationship with Danny, but he has always had a thing for Ashley, and the nurse and freelance photographer have been teasing him about dating and getting together. During the week of August 4th, Ashley's mother, Jan Morgan, will give her some counsel. She might suggest that Ashley follow her instincts and fall in love with the resident playboy of Fairmont Crest, despite his reputation. It appears that Andre will eventually admit that he wishes to advance his relationship with Ashley, and she'll agree with it. According to Beyond the Gates spoilers for the week of August 4th to 8th, Ashley and Andre will kiss passionately sometime soon. This is fantastic news for Ashley and Andre, but bad news for Danny, who will undoubtedly lose it when she finds out she's been dumped. Drama abounds in the Young and the Restless universe, as Genoa City is rocked by the most recent development concerning Devon Hamilton's entrance at Fairmont Crest. Devon, who is renowned for his moral rectitude, brilliance, and compassion, unintentionally becomes entangled in a web of deceit that is masterminded by Haley, a cunning manipulator whose intentions are unknown. Even the most seasoned viewers are left on the edge of their seats as Haley, a relatively new but frighteningly crafty presence in the soap opera's environment, methodically lays the foundation for a plot so evil. Her plan, which seems to be aimed specifically at Devon, is one of the scariest plots in recent memory because it is packed with deceit, covert objectives, and a deliberate exploitation of weaknesses. Unaware that he is entering a well-planned trap, Devon, still in shock from personal and professional upheavals, arrives in Fairmont Crest on the pretense of a business opportunity. Haley's encounters with Devon are marked by an uncomfortable tension that suggests she knows considerably more about him than she lets on, and her ability to combine charm and malice makes her a dangerous foe. The scene of Haley's schemes is Fairmont Crest, a town that appears to be bucolic but is actually disturbingly quiet. The town's charming exterior conceals the evil that lies beneath it. Meetings with local company executives, informal chats with locals, and an unexpected but seemingly harmless connection to Haley, who poses as a helpful ally, are all part of Devon's first encounters with Fairmont Crest. But there are hints that things are not quite as they seem. Devon begins to feel the effects of strange coincidences, unexplainable events, and a strong sensation of loneliness, but he brushes them off as paranoia. In the meantime, Haley observes from the shadows, every action she does plan to lead Devon deeper into her trap without arousing his suspicions. As the days go by, Devon finds himself more and more involved in a situation he doesn't fully comprehend because of her extraordinary ability to manipulate people and events. In order to undermine Devon's resistance and make him more receptive to her eventual objective, whatever that may be, Haley uses gaslighting techniques to make Devon doubt his own judgment. This is only one example of the intensive psychological warfare at play. The unpredictable nature of Haley's plan is what makes it so horrifying. Haley's goal is still unknown, which gives the plot an additional element of dread in contrast to typical soap opera villains whose motivations are frequently linked to retaliation or avarice. Is she pursuing Devon's fortune? His contacts? Or is her behavior motivated by something much more intimate? Even though Devon doesn't remember ever seeing her before, flashbacks and cryptic comments hint at a potential past between them. This disparity creates terrifying possibilities. Could Haley be a former Devon resident, disguising herself and seeking revenge for a long-forgotten wrong? Or is she a total stranger who, for reasons only she knows, has become obsessed with him? Viewers are kept in suspense by the ambiguity, and Devon's increasing uneasiness reflects their own nervousness as they follow the events. Each of the supporting individuals in Fairmont Crest contributes to the eerie ambience by appearing regular yet subtly strange in ways that heighten Devon's sense of displacement. Some seem to shun him completely, some seem to be too cordial, and some seem to exchange knowing looks when they believe he isn't watching. The town itself seems to be a character in the narrative, with its peaceful streets and charming stores concealing a sense of danger. Devon can't exactly pinpoint how or why Haley's influence is so pervasive. He learns unsettling facts about Fairmont Crest as he investigates further, including reports of disappearances, mysterious mishaps, and a generalized fear among those who dare to speak up. However, each time he approaches the discovery of something tangible, the evidence disappears, witnesses retreat, and Haley shows up with a perfectly plausible explanation, which makes him question himself once more. As the days stretch into weeks, Devon's mental health is clearly suffering. Once self-assured and confident, he starts acting strangely more and more, and his dreams start to interfere with his sleep and affect his waking hours. Haley is always there, quietly reinforcing his fears with comments that are brimming with fake care. She cuts him off from his regular support networks, emails are left unanswered, phone calls to Genoa City are inexplicably dropped, and a friend's scheduled visit is abruptly cancelled under unexplained circumstances. Devon grows increasingly frustrated when he learns that he is being routinely isolated from the outside world, yet every attempt to leave Fairmont Crest is blocked by ostensibly arbitrary circumstances, such as last-minute commitments that Haley easily organizes, car problems, or unexpected illnesses. The spectator is left wondering how far Haley will go to accomplish her objectives as the noose tightens around him. This plot is brilliant since it develops gradually, with the tension rising with each new episode as Devon's situation becomes more desperate. Haley's mask slips just enough to expose glimmers of the monster underneath, gradually exposing her true nature. Devon's discovery of a secret area in Haley's house that contains months' worth of surveillance images of him provides a disturbing epiphany, demonstrating that her interest in him is not merely a coincidence. He becomes terrified upon realizing that he has been stalked and observed, but before he can take action, Haley shows up, her manner suddenly changing from being charmingly seductive to being overtly menacing. Her composed delivery of poisonous threats is more unnerving than any eruption of anger, and the encounter is terrifying. It becomes evident that Haley is not merely a cunning manipulator but a full-fledged predator, her mind a maze of obsession and control, as Devon tries to reason with her and she rejects his arguments. Devon's struggle for survival takes center stage as the plot reaches its conclusion. He has no allies and no escape, so he has to use his cunning to outsmart Haley, which is more said than done because she seems to know everything he does. The ensuing game of cat and mouse is heart-pounding, as Devon reveals more and more of Haley's deceit while she foils all of his attempts to get away. Viewers are left wondering whether Devon will win or fall victim to the sinister legacy of Fairmont Crest, and the tension is nearly intolerable. When it does occur, the denouement is both gratifying and eerie, leaving readers wondering what happened to Haley and whether she will ever return. In the end, Devon's experience in Fairmont Crest remains one of the most compelling and emotionally charged plotlines on The Young and the Restless in recent memory. Haley's terrifying plan is a suspenseful masterpiece that skillfully combines elements of horror, psychological thriller, and vintage soap opera drama to produce a gripping story. One of the most dreadful antagonists on the show is Haley, whose absence of obvious wickedness that involves a mustache makes her all the more unsettling. Although Devon's ability to bounce back from this nightmare is impressive, the wounds caused by Haley's manipulation will undoubtedly persist and impact his relationships and perspective for many episodes to come. For viewers, this storyline serves as a reminder of why The Young and the Restless is still the most popular program during the day because of its skill at telling intricate, emotionally stirring tales that captivate viewers week after week. In addition, Haley's name is now permanently inscribed in the history of soap operas as a monster whose terrifying legacy will never be forgotten. When Devon Hamilton's private plane landed at Fairmont Crest, he had no idea what he was getting into. Even though the little, charming town was miles from Genoa City's busy streets, the stress he would soon encounter there would be equal to anything he had ever experienced at home. No relatives, no press, not even a text to Lily or Nate, he arrived on a whisper. Only Haley, a lady whose relationship to Devon was shrouded in mystery and a convoluted past, was aware of his visit. For years, Devon had been happy to leave Neil's strange accident rest in a mound of unresolved trauma, but the attraction of truth drew him in like gravity. She had sent him a mystery letter that simply read, "I know who really caused Neil's fall. Come alone. Fairmont Crest. No questions." The air smelt better and possibly colder when we got off the plane, but Devon didn't find the sensation beneath his skin to be at all refreshing. His driver nodded respectfully and opened the door of the black SUV he was waiting in. The entire journey through Fairmont Crest's forested lanes felt like a plummet into an unidentified depth. Devon could feel the constriction in his chest getting worse as the car ascended the hill toward the inn where Haley had made the meeting. This was neither a social visit nor a business meeting. His sense was that this was war. Haley had never been straightforward. Months ago, she showed up in Genoa City and introduced herself as a lawyer's assistant working on a modest charity project that Devon had financed. However, she had a certain way of observing everyone, listening more than talking, and asking inappropriate questions. At first, Devon dismissed it, attributing her actions to ambition or possibly nervousness. She then started giving clues, including details about his background, remarks about Hillary that were best kept private, and, worst of all, a subdued assurance whenever Neil's name was spoken. Devon didn't connect the dots until it was too late. She was waiting for him now, inside the Fairmont Crest Inn, in a parlor filled with pictures of long-dead townspeople and lights that flickered as if they knew secrets. She had her hair slicked back, her eyes flashing with a mixture of lunacy and mischief, and she wore a dark scarlet cloak. She smiled without looking at him and remarked, "You made good time." Devon didn't give it back. Without saying anything, he sat across from her. Expectation pulsed through the heavy hush. Haley leaned in at last. "A file is present. Though incomplete, it is sufficient." Neil stayed upright. He was shoved. Devon's mouth clenched. By whom? With a chilly tone, he inquired. Haley took a while to respond. Rather, she produced a thick, aged yellowed folder. Like it was poisoned, she slipped it across the table. Devin cautiously opened it. The contents included surveillance images, phone logs, and a transcript of a conversation between two individuals, one of whom Devin identified as a long-retired contractor for Newman Enterprises. The other voice? The father of Devin, Tucker McCall. Devin stopped. It was illogical. Tucker wasn't even in town when Neil got hurt, was he? Haley observed his expression change as emotions seeped into bewilderment and eventually anger. Haley said he wasn't supposed to be around the penthouse that evening. However, he was. Audio is present. He quarreled with Neil. Devin's heart thumped in his ears. Something went wrong. Coming home to flashing lights, paramedics, and the news that Neil had fallen down the stairs and that his death had been declared a sad accident were all too vivid in his memory of that night. However, it now stunk of treachery. "Why are you displaying this to me?" he inquired. After giving a shrug, Haley got up and walked slowly to the window where the wind was rattling the glass. "Because I want you to help me in some way. Something that will balance everything out." Devin clenched his hands and stood up as well. Neil was never the subject of this, was he? This is about retaliation. Haley turned abruptly, a twisted, painful expression on her face. She growled, "My sister. She was damaged by your father. She was used, chewed up, and left to rot in treatment by Tucker McCall. 6 months later, she passed away. Take too much." 22 was her age. Devin stumbled. Her eyes were filled with nuclear rage. "I needed answers, so I traveled to Genoa City. Then I came to you. And it occurred to me that there was no greater way to harm Tucker than by way of the son he never truly claimed." Devin took a deep breath. The room whirled. "You tricked me." Haley took a step forward. "I needed your confidence. And I need your assistance now. Take him here. To the Fairmont Crest. He'll come get you." Devin pulled away, saying, "And when he does, I'll finish what he started with my sister." "You're crazy," he said. "This isn't fair. It is murder." Haley remained unflinching. Calmly, she remarked, "It's balance. You should know that, of all people." The ensuing days were a haze of strategy and paranoia. Devin was unable to leave town. Not before realizing the extent of this scheme. In an attempt to get advice, he called Victor, but Victor's tone was uncharacteristically circumspect. He cautioned, "Devin, Tucker is dangerous. Triple what you believe you know." Devin learned all he needed to know from that statement alone, and don't trust anyone in that town. Fairmont Crest was a cemetery of buried sins, not merely a peaceful town. There, people were skilled at concealing things and making others vanish. Devin began his own investigation. A few residents he spoke to recalled Tucker visiting under a different name years prior. Even a fight, a loud, violent dispute between two men outside the inn, was recalled by one bartender. Neil fit the description. However, there had never been a police report. Devin's entire world started to fall apart. If Tucker was involved in Neil's demise, it was an act of war rather than merely a betrayal of family. Devin was aware that he needed to approach him cautiously. Declaring to everyone that it was merely a business emergency, he took a plane back to Genoa City. He kept it a secret from Lily and Abby. Only Tucker. Under the pretense of a business opportunity, a real estate deal he had been secretly contemplating, he sent an invitation to Fairmont Crest. Suspicious yet fascinated, Tucker nodded. They laid the trap. Devin encountered Haley again in Fairmont and gave her a warning. "I'll make sure you rot in prison if you touch him," said Haley with a chilly smile. She said, "You don't have the stomach to stop me. We're already past the point of no return." The atmosphere between father and son was acrimonious and tense when Tucker arrived. Devin took him up the same hill, past the same inn, and over the same storm that was building. "Why are you here?" Tucker inquired nonchalantly. Devin answered, "Thought we could talk away from the vultures." Haley was waiting inside, but without her mask this time. Tucker squinted his eyes as he finally recognized her as she gazed at him as if he were a ghost. Slowly, he said, "I know you." Haley produced the identical folder she had handed to Devin. It was thrown at Tucker's feet. "Read it," she ordered. Tucker glanced down at the files and then up at Devin before saying, "Confess." "She's playing tricks on you. Neil's death had nothing to do with me." Devin, however, had changed his mind. He was losing the assurance he once had about everything, including his family, his firm, and his sense of fairness. "What brought you there that evening?" Devin inquired. Tucker hesitated. "I came to speak. I wanted to do something, but Neil stood in the way. That's all. I didn't press him, though. He was upset." Devin halted Haley as she pushed forward when he slid. Holding his father in a glass-shattering gaze, he dialed Chance and said, "We'll let the police decide." Haley yelled, "That's not enough. You brought this on yourself. He is deserving of death." Devin, however, had finished listening. He pulled Tucker outside, instructed him to get out, and forewarned him not to appear in Fairmont Crest ever again. He then looked at Haley. "You expressed a desire for fairness." She was trembling now, tears streaming from eyes that had witnessed too much, "but you had only come for blood." She muttered, "I wanted you to hurt." Devin's heart ached, not for her, but for the ghost of who she may have been in the absence of the hatred. "Like I did." That evening, she was taken by the police. Spitting and screaming, but defeated. Devin stood by himself beneath the stars, feeling the chill of the wind on his skin. In a sense, Fairmont Crest had attempted to shatter him. He came to Genoa City a man scarred by betrayal, plagued by the decisions of others, and permanently altered by a small town that concealed so many falsehoods beneath its soil, rather than the self-assured tycoon who had thought every truth would eventually come to light. He didn't tell Abby everything. He couldn't. As the house fell silent and she slept next to him, Devin would occasionally look into the darkness and ask himself, how close had I come to becoming a monster myself?